Welcome to the Juxtaposition Football Podcast, where we're broadcasting from America, but the Cowboys are not our team. This is Steve. I'm joined here by Randy. Say hi, Randy.
What's up?
This is our first audio episode of the Juxtaposition Football Podcast. We did do a YouTube-only episode, so please check that out. You will notice that our friend Dimitri isn't here because he doesn't care about sports. So if you miss him, please, attack him on social media, guilt him into joining us because we love him. Love to have him on here, but we're going to put this out regardless of whether he wants to be on the show or not. So we're going to run through some headlines and then we're going to give our division predictions. And depending on how we're feeling and how long the show's running, we may do our MVP predictions for the year, our all too early MVP predictions. But without further ado, let's get started. And we're going to hit on a sad story. Greg Knapp, his first year with the Jets, I was excited to see what he can do. Sadly, he was struck by a car while riding his bike in California and passed away earlier this summer. Very sad, depressing story. He has 3 daughters and leaving behind a wife as well. And just too damn young, 58 years old. But without focusing too much on the sad, we wanted to talk about his very good career. I know, Randy, you had him as a coach in Atlanta. He was a coordinator. I think he did quarterback coach as well very recently.
Yeah.
So give you an opportunity to talk about his career, if you don't mind.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's see here. So he was really a bunch of different position coaches. He was a running backs coach, wide receiver coach, assistant head coach, and then, like you said, quarterbacks coach. Most recently for the Falcons from 2018 to 2020. So these past 3 years that he was coaching, he was with Atlanta. His highlight of his career was definitely whenever he was the offensive coordinator in San Francisco from 01 to 03. Those were the Jeff Garcia years. He had now, according to yards, he had the 4th, 8th, and 5th best offense in the NFL. So, I mean, clearly he knew what he was doing. After 2003, he went to Atlanta, and honestly, he kind of just went downhill from there. Never really showed that flash that he did in San Francisco, but he was always a really good position coach. I mean, you can't hold a job for, nearly 30 years, 40 years without being pretty good at it.
Yeah, absolutely. And, I was super excited to see what he can do with Zach Wilson. Everyone just raved about him as a quarterback coach. Anyone that knew him just loved him. He was really a special part of a team, the type of guy that everyone wanted to be around. He did win a Super Bowl with the Broncos as a quarterbacks coach. So I'm glad he had that, it all seems kind of moot, after a tragedy, but he definitely deserves the accolades as a really important member of the NFL family, if you will, at the risk of sounding cheesy. But yeah, it's sad. My heart goes out to his family, and it's too damn young. But all right, let's move on from the depressing. And well, it's depressing, just not as much. The Colts are dealing with a bunch of injuries. Carson Wentz just went down with a foot injury. Quentin Nelson, their guard, went down. Their center, Ryan Kelly, their tackle, Eric Fisher, all injured. Wentz and Nelson seem to have the same foot injury. And what I understand is this may have been a really old injury for Wentz, an old broken foot. And what they're saying is the piece of bone came loose and is causing a bunch of pain for him. So it just really sucks, really unfortunate. This was supposed to be Wentz's bounce back season, being matched up with Frank Reich again and given an opportunity to start, given an opportunity to succeed, and just get this injury news in the preseason. Just terrible, terrible timing. Not that there's ever a good time for an injury, but it just seems like he has so much bad luck.
Yeah, yeah. It's really heartbreaking, man. Like Wentz, he had that MVP caliber season in 2017, and he's just been battling injuries ever since then. I mean, obviously that's what cut that season short for him. And then Foles, did his thing. So we don't know if we're ever going to see Carson Wentz play like that again. And if he does have to wait, because his timetable is 5 to 12 weeks. If it is the 12 weeks, then Philadelphia is not going to get the. I think was it a first round draft pick?
I think so. Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah, it's dependent on the amount of snaps that he plays. If he plays 75% of his snaps, then he gets then they get the first round pick. And if he plays 70% of the snaps and they make the playoffs, then they get the first round pick. So he's almost certainly not going to play that much if the timetable is the 12 weeks.
Yeah. In the first 4 games, or 4 of the first 5 games, I should say, are against playoff teams from last year. Like, it's just terrible, terrible timing for the Colts. And I think the Colts are going to struggle regardless, just being in a pretty good AFC South. It just, this is terrible news for them. Semi-related though, a report just came out that Philip Rivers may be interested in coming back if someone reaches out to him. So I'm curious if Indy would reach out to him. Obviously, last played with them. They need help at the quarterback position. Seems like a good fit for a still pretty good, above average quarterback, in my opinion. I'd love to see Philip Rivers play. I think I love watching his game. He's got a kind of a funny release. I think it's funny, but can't fault him when he's as successful as he is. So we'll see if Indy's interested in bringing him in.
Yeah, he's fifth most passing yards in NFL history. So I mean, he's doing something right, and he is only 39. So I mean, it's not like he's 44. Who can play at 44, right? So I will say one thing. I am looking forward to the prospect of this happening. The Colts drafted Sam Ellinger in the 6th round this year. And I don't know if you watch a lot of college football or if you watch any Texas college football, but he was the quarterback for Texas the past 4 years. And dude, he played damn well. 2018, 19, and 20 were his big seasons. Let's see. 25 touchdowns, 32 touchdowns, and then 26 touchdowns. That was his sophomore, junior, and senior year. I mean, those aren't bad numbers,
No, not at all.
So I'm very interested to see. He'll definitely be playing in the preseason. I'm really interested to see what he'll do with an NFL team around him.
Yeah, I mean, what's his competition? Brett Hundley. I don't really think Brett Hundley is
Easton.
Yeah, but I guess I don't know much about Jacob Eason.
Eason, my bad.
Yeah, I don't know much about him, but I know Brett Hundley, and I don't think he's probably a fine backup quarterback. But if your season is predicate on him playing well, you may be in trouble. So yeah, not looking good. That quarterback room in Indy is not very deep right now. A lot of young players, but not a lot of proven track records there.
I'm just saying, man, Ellinger's going to be the next Dak Prescott.
Give me it. I would love that. That would be great. But he's only 6'1", so that's kind of short for a quarterback.
Hey man, there's a couple shorties out there. Drew Brees was what, 6 foot?
Yeah, if he's on his tippy toes, I think he's a little shorter. I think he was. That's what they listed him as, but I don't know about that.
Tua is on the shorter end. I think he's about 6 foot. Baker, I think, is 6 foot.
Yep.
So I think Russell Wilson's only 6 foot, huh? Isn't he? Or maybe even
he's shorter, right? Yeah, I think he's 5'11", 5'10".
Yeah, he might be 5'11".
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean he's all right. He is 220 pounds, so I mean he's not the largest man in the room, but that's not skinny. He weighs a hell of a lot more than And some of the other guys like Lamar.
Zach Wilson, the quarterback, the rookie.
Oh yeah,
he's
didn't even think of that.
He's like 210, 212, 6'2". So yeah, he's lean as well. That was always the knock against him coming out.
Yeah, yeah. Of course, I'm not actually comparing him to Dak, but I am serious. Like I would definitely keep an eye on him, especially with the quarterback woes that they're seeing. Because if Phillip Rivers does come back, he did make it clear that it's not going to be anytime soon. He said, let me see. He said that if he were to show up to camp right now, then he would not make weight. So he's not quite in football shape, but he said he will get there if need be. So they've got to have someone from now until then, and I think that Sam has just as good a chance as anyone on the team.
Yeah, I would agree with that. And I mean, if Phillip Rivers, it always seems like 2 years or a year and a half after they retire, they get that itch, and you hear these reports. So we'll see if talking to a reporter and actually making a phone call or listening to a phone call from a team, that's a big difference. So I would love to see him come back because I think the league's better when Phillip Rivers is under center, but yeah, that's a big leap, and we'll see what happens with that.
Agreed.
So the next story I want to talk about is the Eagles and Texans trade rumors. And similarly, Eagles not in a rush to name Jalen Hurts as a starting quarterback. So I don't know if Deshaun Watson, all the rumors about him getting traded seems to call back to Philly. So there must be something there. At least a phone call has been made, I'd presume. But do you think they'd actually make that trade?
Honestly, man, I could see it happening. Like we've already talked about how fucked up the Deshaun situation is. If it is true, I mean, what's really going to come of it? Because like we said, it is a business, and as long as he's allowed to play, someone's going to play him. Whether it's the Eagles, the Texans, or any other team, like he is going to play if he is not suspended or in jail. So, I mean, he's made it clear he does not want to play on the Texans. If the Eagles make an offer that the Texans like, then I mean, I could absolutely see it happening.
Yeah, from what I've heard, it's all rumors, right? So we don't know anything specific. But what I heard is Texans want they want 2 or 3 first, and I don't see why a team would take that gamble. He is a damn good quarterback. He is amazing, so athletic. He's a game changer. He's the type that, again, I've said before, he can put the team on his back and he elevates players around him, makes them better. But he's probably a scumbag. He's probably a piece of shit. So we don't know. Some more came out recently, and it sounds like there's at least a criminal investigation going on right now. So we just don't know if there's going to be actual criminal charges. We know there's going to be civil lawsuits. So it's gonna cost him money.
Right.
And it's already cost him money with sponsorships. And it's gonna cost him money with playing time. I have to imagine. Honestly, I'm shocked that the NFL hasn't suspended him and taken more of a hands-on direct approach to this. We've seen that with stuff that isn't as freaking 24 women accusing him. It's unprecedented. But yeah, I know it's the cynical side comes out and says it's a company. It's about making money, and wins equal money, and Deshaun Watson equals wins. So once the smoke settles and we know exactly what we're dealing with, he's going to be in the NFL. We saw it with Michael Vick. We've seen it with other situations in the past.
Winston Roethlisberger,
yeah,
Ezekiel Elliott,
yeah,
countless other guys. Man, that it's just so strange that, like you said, they haven't done anything. I mean, whenever Ezekiel Elliott, for example, he got suspended.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And not to say that what he did was okay, but it was not quite as bad as what Deshaun is allegedly guilty of doing.
Yeah, and that's what's fucked up is like we have to grade how scummy they are. Like, yeah, he's a
Yeah,
piece of shit, but he's not as bad as this guy over here. It kind of
yeah,
makes me sad about my favorite sport. I absolutely fucking love the NFL. I watch it religiously. But when you have thousands, well, over 1,000 men, grown men, there's going to be pieces of shit. There's going to be scumbags in there, and here we are. There's at least one of them. But we haven't talked about Jalen Hurts. I'm not completely sold on him in the NFL. I want to see him succeed, as it's always great to have young, talented quarterbacks in the league. And I think he is talented. I just don't know if he's starting quarterback, franchise quarterback talent.
yeah. So I'm absolutely sold on him being in the NFL. Just like what you just said, I don't know if his role is to be a starting quarterback. I'm a huge Alabama fan,
Mm-hmm.
so I'm a huge Jalen Hurts fan. I certainly want him to succeed. After hearing the rumors that the Eagles are even interested in Deshaun, that makes me not really want Jalen to be on the team regardless. Uh, just because that doesn't look good, you know what I mean, on the
Yeah.
owners or the GM or whoever's making these rumors come to light. That doesn't look good on them. So I definitely want Jalen to ball out on whatever team he's on, but maybe not on a team that is considering bringing in a guy like Deshaun. Again, this is all just rumors. Maybe none of this is real.
Yeah. Yeah.
But but yeah, Jalen's fucking crazy talented. He's a tremendous athlete. His question was always throwing the ball. His last year at Oklahoma, he did that better than any other point in his career. Last year in Philly, he didn't do too great, but I mean, I'd say he played probably about like the 20th to 25th best quarterback in the NFL.
Yeah.
And really, that's all you got to do. You know what I mean? To be a starter. That's not gonna give you the longest leash in the world, but I think that he deserves a shot to start.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree. He played better than Sam Darnold did. Right
Yeah,
there.
exactly. Darnold, Wentz, for example,
Yeah.
and Wentz was going into Week 1 as the Colts starter. That was not in question at all.
Yeah.
Drew Lock, he's played
Oh.
shit. I would even say he played better than Teddy Bridgewater, even though that the numbers weren't there.
Yeah, I would agree, and that's a good point. I'm wondering if the Deshaun Watson trade goes down, that's a perfect trade. Jalen Hurts to Denver. I
Yep,
would put him as the starter right away. We already know he's better than Drew
absolutely.
Lock. I think Teddy Bridgewater and Hurts may be close, but Jalen Hurts is younger and has more upside.
Yeah,
So I would definitely give Hurts the starting role in Denver.
yeah. Jalen absolutely has the. Sorry about that. Jalen absolutely has the higher ceiling, just if for no other reason. He's more athletic, and of course his age.
Yep.
Teddy's definitely going to be the better passer, at least right now. But like we discussed before, he is uber conservative, and that's only going to get you so far. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. I have a soft spot in my heart for Teddy. I think he seems like a really nice guy, and that injury he suffered in Minnesota was so fucking brutal. It was such a sad thing, and we didn't know if he'd ever play again. And then he comes back, and the Jets got him on the cheap and then traded him. So I thank you for for the draft picks that we got just by him playing in the preseason. But yeah, I want to see him in the NFL, but I don't think he's only 28. Seems like he's been around forever. I don't think he's good enough to be a franchise. He's a great backup. If your quarterback goes down, Teddy can go in, and probably won't lose you any games, but he ain't gonna win you any either.
Yeah, I agree.
Um, So the other thing I wanted to touch on is it looks like RG3 may be hanging it up. The report came out today that he's going to join ESPN in the booth and become a broadcaster. And his career is always, to me, it's that what if. what happened in Washington and in the playoffs that year, where he was so obviously injured, and they just kept him in there, and he's just getting brutalized, just getting hit after hit, and it was. And even the broadcasters are like, "What are they doing? Get him out of there. He's too injured." And it at least for me, it felt like he never got back there. Like he came back and he had a career. He definitely had a career, but
Yeah.
it was never the same after that, and it sucks.
Yeah, man, it really fucking sucks, dude. Uh his last real shot at starting, which was of course in Cleveland. I thought that that was the beginning of a good thing. You know what I mean? I always liked the Browns, you know, because they've been terrible for my entire life.
Yeah,
So 2016, whenever he signed with the Browns, like I said, I was so excited. He started 5 games that year. He won one of them, which, believe it or not, that's a huge fucking deal
yeah,
in that era of Browns history.
yeah,
In those 5 games, he threw 2 touchdowns. That's,
yeah,
that's not very good, and threw for under 60% completion percentage.
yeah. Yeah.
And then in Baltimore, sorry to interrupt you, but in Baltimore, could not have landed in a better spot. Perfect, perfect, perfect backup for Lamar. Really wish he could have, you know,
Yeah.
not been so fucking injured.
Yeah, yeah, it is too bad. And I thought the same thing. He's in Baltimore as a backup. He's got a similar skill set, obviously not nearly as elite as Lamar, but
Yeah.
you don't have to change your whole training style, your playbook. You can kind of plug and play. You hope you win a game with him, but at least it's similar enough. And I don't know if RG3 has that mentality to mentor younger quarterbacks. Some people have it, some people don't, but that's something that you hope to get out of a veteran quarterback when you have a younger player. I don't know. I don't know if that was the case, but I hope I wish him well. I know he's going into ESPN. I don't know what capacity at this time, but hopefully he's happy and fulfilled in his next journey. Oh, he did say that he'd be interested in coming back if a team
Coming
called.
back. Yeah.
So, well, we'll see if that happens.
Yeah, that is a clause in his contract. I did read that earlier that he is allowed to leave if that does become the case.
Yeah, and it definitely could happen. These injuries, man. It seems there's always one or two quarterbacks that go down, and someone like RG3 may get a call and get an opportunity, or Philip Rivers. So we'll see what happens.
It would be kind of crazy though if he did end up going to the Colts, because they were picking first overall and they passed over him and selected Andrew Luck. That'd be really poetic if he went to play for them.
Yeah, good call. Yeah, I remember the conversation, but it was always they try to create drama during the draft. Andrew Luck was such a solid number one, similar to Trevor Lawrence.
We knew.
And then a few weeks before, like, oh, I heard RG3 maybe going for. No, it wasn't fucking happening.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we knew.
I think Washington gave up a shit ton to get him, right?
Absolute mattress. Like, dude, they gave so fucking much. I'm unprepared. I didn't look up
that's my
the
fault.
Rams Redskins trade. But yeah, no, you're good. Yeah, there was this huge like Reddit thread about it. I think that the Rams used the last pick last year because they traded a bunch of the picks that they got from Washington to other teams, and whatever like the last pick was that had been like changing hands over the years, it was just used, I think, last year.
It's insane. Wow. And that's what, 2012. God damn.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I think the Rams ended up giving a couple picks to the Eagles. That may have been in the Jared Goff trade. I don't fucking remember, dude. But so many picks traded hands.
Yep.
Yeah, definitely a huge whiff.
Yeah, that's one of those franchise reset whiffs. When that happens, fuck it, burn it down, because we're done for 3 or 4 years. You can't miss that hard. But
yeah,
But that's kind of Washington's MO, so I'm okay with that. I've never been a big fan of the Washington football team as they are known now.
Yeah.
All right, so I think we're ready to talk about our division winning projections. I think we're going to do random. Are we ready to do that? Do you want to explain how we're going to do that?
Yeah, so we can absolutely do it random if you'd like. So I've got a little generator that will yoink a random division. We've got both NFC and AFC. It's going to pull out a random division, and then we're going to take turns saying who we think is going to be the division champ. You'll get one, I'll get one, so on and so forth. Totaling 8 picks total. And yeah, if you want, you can go first. I will go ahead and start the generator.
So
okay.
Are we going to say I pull up AFC East, I'm going to say who I think is going to win, and then we're going to talk about the division as a whole, or are we just going to talk about division winners right now?
Yeah, we're definitely going to focus more so on the winners, but we can obviously mention the division just to kind of, give credence to why we picked them.
All right, sounds good. I'm ready.
All right. The first pick is AFC East.
AFC East. As most people know, I'm a huge Jets fan. They're not going to win the division this year. I'd love for it. It ain't going to happen. It's going to be Buffalo because Buffalo is stacked. They have an incredibly gifted young quarterback. They won 13 games last year. And not only are they stacked, the rest of the division is kind of in a rebuild phase. I don't believe in Tua from Miami. I don't believe in Cam Newton, but I think he's going to start. So I think New England's going to struggle before they switch to the rookie quarterback. And the Jets, I think, are going to be better because it can't be much worse, only winning 2 games last year. But I do believe in Zach Wilson. I do believe in the new front office, semi-new front office and the new coach, Salah. But as all the rest of the division kind of figures it out, gets their shit together, Buffalo's going to run away. And they're going to win 14 games without even trying. And I think Josh Allen is going to be an elite quarterback for a while. I think Buffalo's defense is pretty damn good. It's going to hold other teams back while Josh Allen lights it up. And yeah, Devin Singletary at the running back, TJ Yeldon. They're going to be good, and they're going to win a bunch of games, and I'm going to be sad about it. Sean McDermott is a damn good head coach.
Yeah, I actually picked the Bills as well. There's I don't really see any way that they don't win, barring major injuries.
Yeah.
The Dolphins, I think, have a chance to improve, but I don't think that they're going to improve that much unless Tua, plays lights out. And I guess kind of the same for the Patriots. The Patriots are definitely going to be better this year. That offense is totally different. Defense, they've got so many pieces coming back from the COVID break. Hightower, for example.
Yeah.
So it's all dependent on who they've got at quarterback. Cam is not good.
No.
Mac Jones might not be good. We don't know. We'll see. So that division is going to be really interesting this year. It's going to be a make or break year, probably for Tua. Maybe the last year that we see Cam play. Huge rookie year coming in for Mac Jones, and then of course Zach Wilson. So I'm really excited about the AFC East this year.
Yeah, that's all I hope for. Just be a fun season. It's so depressing, especially last year. After week 3, I basically stopped watching the Jets, and that was hard. I've gone through a lot of shitty seasons, a lot of painful moments, but nothing like last year with them. So I believe it's going to be a better year. I believe they're going to have a bounce back. They're not going to win the division. And they're probably not going to make the playoffs. They're not going to make the playoffs. But, as long as it's fun, competitive, and, I want to see them give Buffalo a run for the money. I don't think they're going to win. I think Buffalo's going to easily make the playoffs. And, as much as I hate the rest of the division, I don't have the same hate for Buffalo because I feel like they've been just as bad, not as bad, but they've been bad with the Jets for a lot of these years. So good for the team, good for the fans. Hopefully Josh Allen makes a case for MVP. Teaser for our other spot.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, I will pull the generator button again and then see who's next. Dude, no, that is no way. I got the NFC South. I'm gonna do it again. That's like that sounds so scripted.
Go for it.
Okay, all right. I got NFC East this time.
Okay.
Okay, let's see here. So for NFC East, I have the Cowboys winning. It was really hard for me to pick this one. I was really between the Cowboys and Washington football team. Um, I like both of those teams, but I'm gonna pick the Cowboys for a couple reasons. Uh, Mainly because Dak is back. He was playing like a top 5 quarterback last year before he got hurt. I think he was still leading the league in yards like 3 or 4 weeks after he had already been out with his injury, which is insane.
Yeah.
So he's going to be a tremendous addition to the offense. CD Lamb in his second year, I'm sure he'll play a lot better. Amari Cooper is a top 10 at worst wide receiver.
Yep.
They don't have the elite offensive line that they did have, but it's definitely not the worst offensive line. Ezekiel Elliott, of course, this is a major trope, but he is in incredible shape right now, according to reports. So maybe another good year for Zeke. The defense is the only part that I'm a little bit worried about. They've got some pretty good pieces, especially on the defensive line. Dan Quinn is the new defensive coordinator for the Cowboys, who was previously the head coach of the Falcons. And we notoriously had the worst defense, at least it felt like the worst defense.
Yeah.
Bottom 5 defense year in and year out.
Yep.
So we could say that it was his fault, or maybe it's because he was the head coach, not the defensive coordinator. Whenever he was defensive coordinator last, he was in Seattle, and they had the league's best defense. How much of that was him? How much of that was Pete Carroll, or just simply the players outplaying the coaching? We don't know. Hopefully we'll see a little bit of it this year. As bad as he was there at the end with the Falcons, I really, really like Dan Quinn, and I do hope that he has a lot of success. They actually signed a couple Falcons defenders. Keanu Neal, who was a first-round pick for the Falcons that Dan Quinn actually selected, and then DeMonte Casey, who was another safety for the Falcons. So I like both those guys, and I love Quinn. So as much as I absolutely hate the Cowboys, I do hope that at least the defensive side has a lot of success this year.
Yeah, as my opening line stated, I don't like the Cowboys either, and I don't like them to win the NFC East. I actually have the Giants. I know they played like dog doo-doo for most of the year, and I don't think Daniel Jones is a franchise quarterback. They do have Saquon Barkley. He's coming back from an injury, but he's still fucking elite. Saquon Barkley is nothing to be toyed with. He's going to put up numbers when he's healthy. They got Kenny Galladay. They got Sterling Shepard. They got Evan Ingram. They have pieces. If Daniel Jones can play like a run-of-the-mill middling quarterback, which I think he is, I think they're going to be competitive. And the NFC East is notoriously shitty. So anyone can win that fucking thing. And I think it will be the Giants. They have Leonard Williams on the line. I fucking love Leonard Williams. Yeah, obviously a former Jet, really good. They're not an elite team. They're not going to make a deep playoff run, but they will win the division over the Eagles, who can't figure out who their quarterback is, Washington, who's just poorly ran franchise, and the Cowboys, which always underperform no matter how much talent they have on that team. So Giants for the NFC East.
All right. I'd say that they're a good as pick as any, especially because of that division, like you said. It's literally a flip-flop every single year.
Yep.
Okay. I will do it again. All right, you got the NFC North.
NFC North. So, I mean, the Packers are an easy, safe pick, and they are my pick to win the NFC North. I'm never going to pick against Aaron Rodgers, even though obviously they had this ridiculous offseason where will they, won't they trade him. I never thought they were going to trade him. But Aaron Rodgers under center, you can't bet against him. They got Devontae Adams. They got Randall Cobb. They're not particularly impressive on the defensive side of the ball, and that's always a concern. But it's a damn good team. Whenever you have Aaron Rodgers under center, you're going to be competitive. They won 13 games last year. I think Rodgers really wants to get another ring. He wants to shove it in Green Bay's face that they would ever draft a quarterback behind him, especially in the first round. He's been very vocal about his frustration with the franchise and how they treat veterans and getting free agents and all that bullshit. None of it matters because on Sunday, Aaron Rodgers is going to go out there and ball. I'm not. Chicago should be better, but Chicago's still Chicago. Minnesota. Kirk Cousins is going to get COVID again. I'm convinced of it with his fucking stupid bullshit. And sadly, the Lions are always kind of a bottom feeder. Another franchise I have a soft spot for, being perennial losers like my Jets. I'd love to see them play well and make a run, but with Green Bay and Aaron Rodgers in the division, it's his to win.
Yeah, I've got the Packers as well, but I do have the Bears as a close second. Dude, if Justin Fields plays as well as I believe he can, that could change everything for Chicago. Maybe not this year, but every year after this, because apparently Aaron is not going to be there past this season, or at least that's what it's seeming like. So after this season, I mean, like we both know how quickly that a culture can change around a team.
Yeah.
Just with the right guy. Not that the Chiefs were in a bad spot at all with Alex Smith, but as soon as Patrick Mahomes got there, I mean, it's like automatic. Everyone is picking him for MVP every single year.
Yep.
We know that they're going to win 13, 14 games a year. Like it. Russell Wilson with the Seattle Seahawks. You know what I mean? Ever since he got there, they've been a perennial 10 to 12 win team.
That's
to a lesser extent, or go ahead.
That's a tall ask for Justin Fields. I think he's going to be good. I hope he's good. Like I said before, I love seeing a young quarterback come in and light it up. That's always exciting. But fucking, Patrick Mahomes and Russell Wilson, that's a big ask. And I'm pretty sure that Chicago tweeted out that Andy Dalton's a sort of starting quarterback. So
that was before Justin was drafted. I'm not comparing him to Patrick or Russell. I'm just saying that all it takes is the guy to show up, and then the team is different. Like if they had the guy, even if that guy is I don't know who's an above average guy. Ryan Tannehill. If Ryan Tannehill had been in Chicago the past few years, they would not be like a laughingstock right now, dude.
Yeah.
Like they would not have gone 8-8 last year. Matt Nagy is a good coach. Just
that's controversial.
It's so hard to. It is controversial. I think he's a good coach. I don't know if he's quite as good as a couple years ago made him look, because I mean the defense was scoring more than the offense, it seemed like. So we'll see. The jury is still out, but I think he's a good coach. He's got a decent team. It's a little bit top heavy with guys like Khalil Mack, but I mean Eddie Jackson's still there, Robinson's still there, so Tariq Cohen. So like I said, it's heavily dependent on Justin Fields. I think that if he's even pretty fucking good, then they're gonna probably win 10 games this year.
So what's your over under on Fields starting though?
Oh, dude, he's gonna start. He'll start more games than Andy Dalton. I guarantee that.
Do you think you don't think he's gonna start week 1? Do you?
I'll have to see how the preseason plays out. He might not start week 1. It's kind of like a formality that's been going on the past few years. Usually the veteran gets the first month, and then they move to the rookie. I think he could start week 1. I think that there's a good chance if he plays well in the preseason, I think he will.
I don't think there's any chance he starts week 1. I do think that he will start more than Andy or Big Dick Nick, but I don't think it's going to be week 1.
Okay, we'll see. Like I said, fully dependent on preseason.
Oh, absolutely.
Give us about 3 or 4 weeks, and then we'll see where we're sitting on him.
Absolutely.
All right. I think it's my turn to do the next one. Let me remove the NFC North.
Yep.
All right, I got the NFC West. I have the Rams winning the NFC West. They finished second in the division last year, winning 10 games. Seattle won 12 games. Really, the main reason why I'm picking the Rams is simply because their quarterback play should be better. We don't know exactly how much better that's going to be because I was never sold on Matthew Stafford being an elite guy like so many people talk about him. But I do think he's a very good guy, maybe even a great guy. And I mean, you pair him with Sean McVay. We'll see how he does. I definitely think that he will outplay Goff,
Yeah.
but uh, and again, I'm also putting a little bit on. I think that the Seahawks are probably going to regress by 1 or 2 games, and I think that the Rams are going to get better by 1 or 2 games. So it's going to be close between those teams. I don't really see Arizona contending this year unless Kyler plays lights out, and I definitely don't see San Francisco playing uh, with the Rams and Seahawks this year because I mean I don't even know what they're going to do at quarterback. I don't even know if they know.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it they got to stick with the one guy throughout the year if they're going to compete with those guys. At least in my opinion, I definitely don't think that Trey Lance is quite in a position to start this year. I think he could, and at worst, he would probably just be kind of bad. But I mean, I think that's like his floor. His floor is probably like the 25th best guy, at least in my opinion.
Yeah.
So if they can it's all dependent on the quarterbacks. Like that whole division is dependent on the quarterbacks because they're all pretty good teams. San Francisco only won 6 games last year, but they're not a bad team by any means. I mean, they went to the Super Bowl 2 years ago.
Yeah. Yeah. San Francisco is a good team. But I do have Seattle winning the division. I think Russell Wilson, he tried to do too much at the end of the last year. He played the first half fucking MVP. He was amazing that first half. I think he got happy feet. I think he felt that pressure to make the team better around him, which an MVP
Let Russ cook.
Yep. So, but I think if they get him to play quarterback and play what's given to him, let DK Metcalf be a fucking amazing streaker. Let Tyler Lockett help you out. I think Seattle is going to win 13 games if they stay healthy. It's always dependent on that, but I know that they're getting older. I know their defense isn't what it used to be. Not even close. Pete Carroll's the oldest head coach in the league. I know all the knocks against them. I just think you got Russell Wilson, you got DK, you got a pretty damn good team, and that division, it's up for winning. I think the Rams would be okay. I think the Cardinals are gonna. I think Kyler's gonna make a big step forward, and he's probably gonna be a really good quarterback. I just don't think they're gonna outplay Russell. They're not gonna outplay the Seahawks. They're gonna win that division and go to the playoffs.
All right, that's fair. Okay. It's going to be you next, and you have the AFC West.
AFC West. Oh, that's a gimme, right? That's the Chiefs. Yeah. It's obviously going to be the Chiefs. I think the Raiders are going to play better than they have. I think they're going to continue to take steps forward. They went 8-8 last year. I think John Gruden's kind of a clown, but they have talent on that team, and they're going to play well. They're going to be in the running. They're going to give Kansas a little bit of sweat, but the Chiefs are going to play with Patrick Mahomes, and everything that we love about Kansas City is why we're going to watch them again, and why they're going to make the playoffs and win the division. Tyreek Hill is going to look like Superman. Patrick Mahomes is going to play like the best quarterback in the league because he is. The running game will continue to complement the passing game because that's the script that they have. I think the Raiders are they're gonna play well. I hope the Chargers make some steps forward. Denver has no one under center to play, so It's all Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, obviously I have the Chiefs as well. I think that, I mean, really looking across the board, I think that every team in that division got significantly better. Uh, with the Chargers, obviously, James coming back.
Mhm.
He was a top 5 safety his rookie year. So if he can get even close to that, then that's a huge win for the defense. New head coach, I mean, we don't really know how the new head coaches are going to work out, but of course, everyone thinks that it was a good hire. You almost never hear, "Oh, that was a bad hire." You know what I
Oh,
mean?
I can think of
So,
one time that happened.
okay, well, more so rookie head coaches, not
You're right.
Adam Gase's and shit. So, and then Denver again. I mean, no shit, right? But of course, it's heavily dependent on the quarterback play. You're not going to win a lot of games with guys like Drew Lock unless he, transforms and plays like not Drew Lock. Uh, but even with all of those teams seemingly getting better, they're not going to touch Kansas City unless some major shit goes down.
Yeah.
I don't know if you saw, but there were some rumors that Devontae Adams could possibly be a Raider in the future. He played with Derek Carr in college, and they both said that they would love to play with each other again. And all of this was going on during the Aaron Rodgers Green Bay shit, and Devontae said that he's not really happy there either. So,
yeah, I did.
of course, we're at least a year away from that happening. But I mean, if that happens, then maybe the Raiders could challenge them.
That makes me. Let me ask you: do you think? What do you? I mean, what do you think of Derek Carr? I think he's above average, but at what point do you start looking at drafting a quarterback in Las Vegas? Just I don't know.
I don't think he's given any reason to start looking elsewhere. I think he's a really good quarterback. He's not top 5 or anything, but I think that he's shown multiple times that he can be, the 10th or ninth best quarterback. It's been a little bit. He is a little bit streaky. He's got his times where he is overly conservative, just like a lot of the guys that are never going to be top guys like Teddy Bridgewater. But
Yeah,
I mean, I think he's a really good guy. He's probably in like the 16 to 10 range in my opinion.
yeah, I can see that. I mean, he's got a really good completion percentage overall, but he's never gonna. He doesn't really push it down the field that much. He takes a shot here and there, but he's not throwing
Yeah.
it. He's not Patrick Mahomes, right? So, okay.
Yeah, that's why I'm really excited to see if Ruggs can take a step forward, because that was why he was brought in, because they really haven't had any great receivers since Derek has been there. They did have Crabtree for a little bit, and he was probably their best receiver that he ever had. I mean, of course, they did have Amari Cooper.
Yeah.
But for whatever reason, he did not look like the same Amari Cooper. Now that could be Dak. You know what I mean? We don't really know. I mean, because of course, guys do get better over time.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that Derek absolutely should still be the starter, and they should not be looking elsewhere right now.
Yeah, I don't think right now. I'm just wondering, like, if he doesn't take that step, I guess he's played well enough to be a franchise quarterback. Sure, I don't want to shit on him too much because I wanted the Jets to draft him really bad. I have a good friend who's a diehard Raiders fan, and we were going back and forth about Derek Carr when he was coming out, and I do think he deserves to stay there and be the starter, but he's never going to be Tom Brady or Aaron Rodgers. And obviously, you only get a few of those. So, okay. I think that's enough.
Okay.
Where we go next?
My turn. Okay, I got the AFC South.
Okay.
Let's see here. I have the Titans winning that division.
Me too.
To be honest, it's more so between the Titans and the Colts, and if the Colts do not have an answer at quarterback, then it's kind of a gimme to the Titans. They both won 11 games last year. Phillip Rivers is, I think it's pretty safe to say that he is better than Carson Wentz, or at least last year Phillip Rivers was significantly better than last year, Carson Wentz.
Yeah.
So even if Wentz does start, we don't know if that's going to be an upgrade at the quarterback position for them. So I think it's pretty easy to give it to the Titans. The only team other than the Colts that I could see to maybe make a push, I might get a little bit of flack for this, but the Jaguars, I know that they were the literal worst team last year. They only won one game, but I could see them winning probably. Now this is not going to make them win the division, but I could see them probably getting up to about 7 wins, not just from Trevor Lawrence, but absolutely Trevor Lawrence is going to be a tremendous part of that. Again, rookie head coach. We don't really know how he's gonna pan out. He's one of the greatest college coaches ever. That doesn't mean
No, it's
a whole lot in the NFL, but we do know he does know how to coach football. NFL football is very different from college football, but it's not like it's a different language. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like a different accent, I guess. So I'm excited as fuck for the Jaguars. I've always been a Jaguars fan, not of course number one, but I mean I've got Jaguars memorabilia. I don't live too far from Jacksonville. I'm also a huge Tim Tebow fan, which a lot of people hate on me for that. So I really, 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 really hope that he makes the team past the preseason. Nothing would make me happier than to see Trevor Lawrence throw Tim Tebow a touchdown, or even better yet, on a trick play, Tim Tebow throws Trevor Lawrence a touchdown.
If that happens, man, I'm gonna give you $20. I don't know why, but that would be incredible.
I am buying a Tebow jersey if he makes the team. I'm gonna make that clear. I will buy a Tebow jersey if he makes the roster.
Oh my god. Okay, so I have the Titans as well, and I have Jaguars coming in second. I think they're going to make huge strides. So Urban Meyer, I think he's a douchebag. I obviously don't know him, but I always got that vibe from him. But he does know football, and he does know how to coach up players. And what else do you need? And for all the reasons that you said, I think Jacksonville is going to make that leap. I think Titans are going to win it pretty comfortably. I think Indy has a lot of injuries and questions at quarterback. Houston's got so many fucking questions. So I think the Titans are going to comfortably win the AFC South. And I think Jacksonville is going to, like you said, 8 wins, probably 8 or 9 with the extra week. But yeah, Tennessee, easy.
All right. It will be your turn. And okay, you got the NFC South.
NFC South. Who plays in the NFC South again?
Shoot, I don't know.
So I do have the Bucks winning. You can't bet against Tom Brady, even if he is 44. They seem to just keep getting better last year. Eventually, Brady's going to have to hit a wall and fucking regress, but until it happens, you got to give it to him. And they signed like everyone, so it's basically the same exact team from last year. So I think the Bucks are gonna win it pretty comfortably, but I do have Atlanta coming in second. I think Atlanta's gonna get significantly better than they played last year. I think Matt Ryan's still got a lot left in the tank, and he just needs an opportunity. So I'm hoping that's what it is. And obviously with Breeze retiring, Nolan's going to take a step back. So Bucks and Falcons.
Yeah, I agree with the top two there. I think that the Saints honestly could be last place in the division. Not only do they have a gigantic question mark at quarterback, I'm not sold on Taysom Hill or Jameis Winston, nor is really anybody. But all of these suspensions and injuries, Michael Thomas, you know what I mean? Marshawn Lattimore, Onyemata, like the list goes on for those guys. They are not going to feel like they're like permanent team until probably like week 8. I think I think that's roughly whenever Michael Thomas is looking like he'll come back. I could be wrong with that, but my point is New Orleans is gonna suck this year, and if they don't, I will be fucking flabbergasted.
Yeah,
Tampa is the exact same team, dude.
Yeah.
They brought back every single starter. The head coach and offensive and defensive coordinators, they're all back. Like that doesn't happen. You don't win a Super Bowl and then do that. So they're absolutely going to win the division unless Tom Brady plays like a 44-year-old. But honestly, even if he does, I mean,
It's a good
that
team.
team's kind of stacked.
Yeah.
Yeah. So even if they only win, 10 or 11 games, that's almost certainly going to be more than any other team in the division. So you got to give it to them. I do think that the Falcons are going to be tremendously improved. I think that they're going to start, inching their way towards double-digit wins again, probably 9 or 10 wins this year. It's so dependent on how good of an offensive coach that Arthur Smith is.
Yeah.
We think he's really good, but I mean, how much of that was Derrick Henry? You know what I mean? In Tennessee,
Yeah.
opening up the options that they had. How much of it was Ryan Tannehill actually being a good quarterback? We don't know. So I'd like to think that Matt Ryan, other than the past 2 years, has always been better than Ryan Tannehill. So that gives me a lot of hope. Kyle Pitts gives me a lot of hope. Calvin Ridley gives me a lot of hope. Dean Pease, he gives me a shit ton of hope. He cannot make our defense any worse. So, yeah, Falcons absolutely on the upswing again, at least I think. Carolina is kind of stuck in like purgatory, I think. I don't think that they really got much better, but I don't think that they got any worse either. Sam Darnold seems more or less like a lateral move to me. Clearly, they don't think so because they didn't really pursue anyone else. Like during the draft, it was rumored that they were going to look at a rookie, and that didn't happen. Whether it was because they weren't interested or they just couldn't make the move.
Well, actually, the rumor was that they wanted to go after Deshaun Watson before all that shit came out. So, I mean, but obviously Deshaun Watson over Sam Darnold is an easy one when you have an unproven quarterback from the draft. That's a little different. I don't know. I mean, You got Christian McCaffrey. That dude's impressive. He's awesome. And Darnold and Robbie Anderson got that history. So who knows? I'm hoping Carolina takes a step forward. I hope Darnold plays well, but the rest of the team doesn't. Just because I like Darnold, and I think the trade is dependent on how many wins they get. So I don't know.
Yeah. I definitely still have them finishing third in the division.
Yeah, same.
If not, then fourth.
Yeah, we got the same exact line for NFC South.
Cool. All right. That leaves me with the last one, which is the AFC North. Let's see here. So for the AFC North, I have the Browns. I think we are at a disagreement on that.
Yes.
They won 11 games last year. Stefanski, man, he's the real deal. Like he is finally the Browns finally have a good coach and a good quarterback, and they play off of each other so well. Odell is going to be back this year. So many people shit on me for saying that's even important, but he's a very good receiver. I don't think he's elite. I don't think he's a top 10 guy, but I think he's a very good receiver. Certainly, if he's listed as their number 2, he's probably in the top 5 number 2 guys. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'll give you that.
If not the best number 2 guy.
Yep.
So that's a big thing. They've got Austin Hooper. He's a very good tight end. They've got David Njoku. Or do they still have Njoku? I don't want to seem like an idiot.
I don't think so, but I don't want to seem like an idiot too, so I'll say I don't know.
Don't worry. I will confirm really quick.
Oh, you looked at
David Njoku. He still is on the Browns. Okay, good. So I'm not an idiot.
We'll cut that out.
Okay, so the Browns offense is I would say pretty damn great on paper, in my opinion. Nick Chubb, dude. How did I not mention Nick Chubb yet? He just signed that extension. I would say it was more on the team friendly side. 3 years, $36 million.
2 years, 20.
So
2 years, 20, because that's what's guaranteed, right? The 20. But yeah, it was absolutely team friendly. And Nick Chubb is fucking elite. I'll give you that. 100%.
Yeah, he's a top 3 running back easily. You can kind of mix Dalvin Cook and Derrick Henry in that. Maybe Christian McCaffrey. Okay, he's top 4 with no doubt.
Agreed.
So I mean that offense is going to look really good. Defense, I mean, they didn't play bad. You know what I mean?
I,
Uh,
dude,
I'm looking at the points allowed. They had the third best defense in their division by 100
you
points.
may be swaying me. We got Clowney, Miles Garrett. You got Denzel Ward. You have a pretty goddamn good defense there.
I'm serious, man. Like I think that the Browns are going to be really fucking good. The Steelers won the division last year. I don't see any way
There's
that they're going to do that again this year.
no way. So I have the Ravens winning, and largely on Lamar Jackson. Mark Andrews, tight end, Sammy Watkins, Marquise Brown. It's pretty good team. I believe in the coaching staff too. That they've been there forever, and they've proven they're pretty damn good as well. But it's all around Lamar Jackson, and it's funny saying that now, with everything that just came out. Yeah, he's on COVID. He's out with COVID again. I don't know if he has it or if he was exposed to it, but he's clearly not vaccinated.
He tested positive. Yeah.
Did he? Oh, yeah. So I don't know how this dude gets COVID twice and doesn't get fucking vaccinated. Maybe this will do it, but it's hard to root for a guy that chooses to be an idiot. But just watch him play. It's incredible. Lamar Jackson is an amazing MVP candidate. He's going to be the reason in the coaching that they beat the Browns for the division. I'm with you. I don't think the Steelers are going to repeat. I don't even think they're going to be third
in the conversation.
Yeah. So yeah, it's very compelling argument. But I'm not going to change it. I would not be surprised if the Browns won. I don't think Baker is elite. He's top 15.
Okay.
Yeah, but that defense,
it's certainly top 15.
But what's convincing me is the Browns defense. I forgot how fucking stacked they are. But yeah, I'm not going to change it. I think the Ravens will win. The Browns will make the playoffs as a wild card, and it will be a really fun season watching that shit.
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely going to be keeping an eye on them. Okay, that was all 8 divisions. I think we've got enough time that we can touch on the very early MVP predictions if you'd like.
Yeah, let's do it. Good. You want to start?
All right. I will let you start, actually. So, do we want to do all 5 from the get-go, or do we want to kind of go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 each?
Let's go all 5, and then we can talk about our differences, and I think we have some crossover, so we can echo the same thing rather than have us take the wind out of each other's sails on that. We can agree on what we agree on and disagree with what we disagree on. Okay. So I have my number 1's Patrick Mahomes. Dude is fucking magic. He's amazing. He is going to continue to put up numbers. He's going to continue to be the best quarterback in the league. No reason to think that's going to change. For all the reasons he was in it last year. He had fucking 38 touchdowns last year and 6 interceptions.
Yep.
It's just insane. 66 completion percentage. I don't really care about the QBR, but 82.9. Dude can do it all. He's just next level. After that, I got Josh Allen. We talked about him when I told you the Bills were going to win. He's incredible. And, he was drafted the same year as Sam Darnold. So I was looking at all the different quarterbacks in there. He was probably my lowest ranked out of the 5 with Baker, Sam Darnold, Josh Allen, Josh Rosen. So 4. Lamar Jackson's in that, right? I think Lamar Jackson. Yeah, Lamar Jackson was drafted the same year, but he was always way behind, which is crazy now because I actually have Lamar next on my conversation. But focus on Allen. The Bills have a really good team around him. He threw up 37 touchdowns, 10 interceptions, not terrible. 69% completion percentage last year. That's
Yep.
fucking insane. So he's going to continue to get with McDermott as the coach, he's going to get the plays that highlight what you want to see in a quarterback. I really am impressed with Buffalo with what they've done after drafting him. It's exactly what you want a team to do when they draft a rookie, is just look at him and build around him. Don't try to make him fit into your scheme or your plays. You build your plays and your team around that quarterback. So he's going to continue to grow. He's going to continue to shine. Fucking awesome. I kind of stepped over. Did you want to talk about Patrick? I'm sorry.
No, you're good. I mean, Patrick is one of those guys. You pretty much said everything already. His numbers look so fake, and he just keeps on doing it. Like he just doesn't have any flaws.
Yeah. It really is like someone created a character in Madden and gave it all hundreds across the board.
99s, but yeah.
Yeah. What about Josh?
Josh, yeah, I actually have Patrick Mahomes and Josh as my 1-2 as well for all the same reasons. Josh, like no one, at least to my knowledge, I mean, I've only been hardcore watching football since 2010. No one has come into the league and grown at the rate that he has grown. From his rookie year looking like potentially a bust, he threw 10 touchdowns to 12 interceptions, and people were already saying that Buffalo made a mistake. 52 completion percentage his rookie year. That is dreadful. Like the average nowadays is like about 60.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like dreadful rookie year. His second year, he had an acceptable year. 58% completion. Again, not good, but not 52.
Yeah.
20 touchdowns to 9 picks. That's a passable year. You know what I mean? Like you don't really look at that year and think, wow, we need to draft a new guy.
Yeah.
And then, oh my God, year 3, 4,500 yards, 69 completion percentage. That's an 11% jump over his sophomore year.
Yeah.
37 touchdowns to 10 picks. That's crazy. And I don't know if you watched a ton of Josh Allen last year. I would assume that you did because you're an AFC East fan.
Yep.
But a lot of those picks were kind of crazy. Like they were like off receivers' hands and bounce passes and shit.
Yeah.
So I mean, you can argue that that's not necessarily deserving of him, but I mean, everyone gets that. But yeah, Josh is incredible. I mean, and we haven't even talked about his rushing at all.
Yeah.
His rookie year, he led the team, did he not? Or no, that was Ryan Fitzpatrick that led the team. The Dolphins. He led the Dolphins with rushing that one year.
Yeah.
But his rookie year, 631 yards, 8 touchdowns. Sophomore year, 510 yards, 9 touchdowns. And then last year, 421 yards and then 8 touchdowns. So if you're counting rushing touchdowns, that means he got, 45 total touchdowns last year. That's fucking crazy, dude.
It is. It absolutely is. And you're talking about a quarterback growing at such an elite rate. The one that jumps out to me is Peyton Manning. And I'm not comparing the two, but Peyton Manning's rookie year was dreadful and
abysmal.
It was terrible. And then from there on, he only got better. And obviously became Peyton Manning, Hall of Famer. But his turnaround from rookie to sophomore, it's similar for sure. But Josh Allen, I fucking hate watching him, but he is amazing. So my third pick is Lamar Jackson. Kind of talked about it when I picked the Ravens to win the division, but he's next level. He's magic. He's not quite Patrick Mahomes on putting up those type of numbers, but he doesn't get the same respect he should as a passer because he is pretty quick to run at times. He's pretty damn good. He put up 64% completion. Was it 2,800 yards last year? Not Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes as a quarterback, but he also runs. He got 1,000 yards rushing and 1,200 yards in 2019 rushing, and 7 touchdowns on top of how many did he have as a passer? 26. So I mean, he's going to score points. He's going to be hell for the defense to contain because he can throw it. They're always worried about him running, that they don't give him all the respect he deserves as a passer, and he's a game changer. And I think he's probably an idiot with not getting vaccinated, but when he's on the field, he's elite.
Yeah, yeah. For my number 3, I've actually got Aaron Rodgers. Um, I mean, he won it last year, 48 touchdowns, uh, 5 interceptions. That's almost more impressive than the 48 touchdowns to me.
Yeah,
Like the dude has not thrown double digit touchdowns since 2010, and it was 11. The only
yeah,
other time in his career that he threw double digit interceptions was his very first year starting, and it was 13.
yeah,
So, I mean, he does not throw interceptions. 412 touchdowns to 89 interceptions in his career.
y-
Fucking, like, again, video game numbers, dude.
yep,
So I think, coming off of such an incredible year, I don't know why you couldn't look at him as a potential repeat guy. It's kind of rare that the guys will repeat. It just typically doesn't happen. Even if he does have a season that was deserving of an MVP, typically the voters don't really do that. They'll kind of lean towards the second best guy unless it was blown away.
yeah. I agree, and I actually have him fourth on my list for all those reasons. Dude is elite, is a Hall of Famer. 9-time Pro Bowler, fucking 121 quarterback rating last, or not QBR.
Yeah, that's the quarterback rating. Yeah, that. So it's really annoying. The quarterback rating is on there, and then the QBR is the ESPN version of the quarterback rating.
Right. Yeah. My bad. Yeah. So 121 for his quarterback rating. He is just fucking phenomenal. There's no reason. I actually think the Packers got a little better on the offensive side of the ball, so there's no reason to see him not have similar numbers. So he absolutely will be a top 5 MVP for the year, and I'm looking forward to seeing it because Aaron Rodgers is a fucking awesome watch.
Yeah. One very last Aaron Rodgers thing. So he did also lead the league last year in completion percentage, 70.7. So nearly 71%. Like 71% and 48 touchdowns. Like, how are they letting this happen?
It doesn't make any sense. He makes it happen. You watch him, he just fucking extends the play and finds the open
He's a
receiver.
conductor.
Yeah, absolutely. It reminds me of, and it kill me for saying this because I'm obviously a Jets homer, but Chad Pennington always had ridiculous completion percentage. No matter how shitty the Jets were, he would still throw up 68, 69, 70% when that wasn't a common thing. He led the league twice.
Right.
So, yeah, love it.
It's crazy. All right. We're on number 4. I guess that was your number 4. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay. For me, this might be a little bit hot takey, but I think he's shown that he could be this guy. He's received MVP votes before, albeit they weren't really deserved. But Dak Prescott is my number 4 guy. Again, before he got hurt last year, he was playing incredible. His stats as far as touchdowns to interceptions don't look really that great. He only managed to throw 9 touchdowns to 4 interceptions last year. But I mean, you look at the year prior, that was probably his best year yet. 4,900 yards, 30 touchdowns, 11 interceptions. Still only won 8 games.
Yeah.
But the team has only gotten better since then. Like I said, that was 2 years ago. So in 2020, that was his first year with CeeDee Lamb, which was also CeeDee Lamb's first year in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that CD is gonna, solidify himself as a very good, if not borderline great receiver this year. Like I said earlier, whenever I picked the Cowboys to win the division, I do think that they got better, and I do think that Dak is gonna shine this year. I think that he's poised to finally look like that elite guy that everyone thought he was going to be after his uh, really, really, really good rookie year. That was actually the year that he received a couple MVP votes. So that's who I've got at number 4.
Yeah, yeah. So I guess I don't think I don't think Dak is going to put up the same numbers. I don't think the Cowboys are that impressive. But I do have for my 5th is Russell Wilson, which again talked about in the divisions. There's always going to be a crossover between who's winning the division and who's your MVP. Russell Wilson is a fucking elite quarterback, amazing to watch. He tried to do too much last year, which kind of hurt the team and hurt him towards the end of the year, but he still won 12 games. He still completed 69% of his passes, threw for 4,200 yards, threw 40 touchdowns, 13 interceptions, which is a career high for him, but also 40 touchdowns, which is a career high for him, and 4,200 career high for him. So, well, oh no, I'm sorry. 2016, he had 5 yards more or so. So he's an amazing quarterback. He also can do it on running it too. He threw up 500 yards running with 2 touchdowns. So Russell Wilson, hopefully Seattle gave him enough and can coach him to calm down and not try to be Superman and play what the defense has given him. If he can do that, he's going to win MVP.
Yeah, I could see the argument for Russell. So for my number 5, I put Tom Brady, if for no other reason, just because of his name. I mean, if he plays really good this year, he doesn't even have to necessarily put up, top 3 numbers, like, because again, this is something that people vote on, and people don't necessarily vote with their brain. Sometimes they'll vote with their heart a little bit. And if a 44-year-old guy, is approaching 40 touchdowns, he's gonna be in the conversation, even if Patrick Mahomes threw like 45 touchdowns. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
So I've definitely got Tom Brady number 5, at least as of right now. I'm looking at his stats right now. Last year he threw 40 touchdowns as a 43-year-old. Do you know the last time that he threw more than 40 touchdowns, Steve? Like off the top of your head?
No, off the top of my head, no.
2007, whenever he threw 50. He's never thrown more than 40 touchdowns before in his career, other than that one time.
Yeah, when he won 16 fucking games, but not the Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
I remember that year.
So my biggest point I'm trying to make is he improved. The past 2 years, he did not even cross 30 touchdowns. And then his very first year in a new system on a new team, he threw 40. So if not for his age, you would imagine that he would progress being on the same team with all the same players and the same coaches. But I mean, again, the age, you've got to factor it in. But again, dude is Tom Brady. Like, he's a fucking cyborg.
Yeah.
We don't know what's going to happen with him.
Yeah. I would not be surprised, just like you're saying with Russell Wilson. I would absolutely not be surprised if Brady's in the conversation. I'm hoping he finally starts to regress because I'm so sick and tired of seeing him win.
Dude, I know.
But I just until it actually happens, I'm not convinced of it. I think I'm my only reason not to include him is I think that Tampa Bay is so stacked that he's not going to have to put up MVP numbers. So that's the only caveat I have on that. But yeah, it's going to happen.
While I do agree, this is the same team that he threw 40 touchdowns on last year. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So again, I could see it going either way. I sure hope he doesn't throw more than 40 touchdowns this year because I'm a Falcons fan. He's haunted the Falcons since 2016, and he fucking came to their division just to fuck them some more.
I don't want to hear it. He played in the same division for 20 years as 19 years as my Jets. So I don't want to fucking hear about Tom Brady haunting you. He's just
28-3, man.
Yeah.
You've never experienced that, and I hope that you know what? I hope you do. I was gonna say I hope you never do. I do hope that you do.
Yeah, I would love for the Jets to play in the Super Bowl. It would be heartbreaking, but it hasn't happened in my lifetime. So I'll take 28-3 if it means they're winning in a Super Bowl game.
Okay, man. All right. We aren't going to talk about that moment anymore.
I understand completely. I have the butt fumble to live with for probably eternity.
That doesn't even come close.
That was a primetime game, Thanksgiving night, against the fucking hated Patriots. So you're right. It's not as big of a stage, but it's probably the biggest stage not in the playoffs. Primetime Thanksgiving night, everyone's fucking watching it. And I agree. I was living in New England at the time, surrounded by fucking Patriot fans. So they haven't let it down. I just like you get the 28-3 shit thrown in your face, I get the butt fumble in my face. But let's stop talking about depressing shit because it's going to be a good year for both of our teams.
I hope so.
Me too. All right. Do we have anything else to talk about?
No, man, I think that we covered everything.
Awesome. Well, we hope to be doing this on a regular basis, especially once the season starts. Let us know what you think. If you love it, if you hate it, you want to see us do it a different way. Let Dimitri know you want him on the show. If you do. If you don't, that's fine too. But we appreciate all you guys listening, and we'll see you next week. Thank you.